Welcome, everybody, to another great episode of Real Life Matters. And of course, I'm your host, DBoss. And subscribe to people's YouTubes and their channels because, you know, a lot of the artists and people, are, you know, want those likes and want those things to come up. So we got a special guest. He was here before, but he was under something else he came under. But now he's coming here as an individual by himself. So we have here DARREN Hamilton. And we're going to find out what song he's going to be releasing. And he's from the Waterloo Region Mass Choir. Welcome.
Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for having me.
I thought you froze in action there or something. I was like, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. Well, people know DARREN Hamilton. But can you tell everybody a little bit of your background, where you came from?
Sure. I was born here in Toronto, and I'm currently living in Kitchener, Ontario. And I've been involved in the music scene for a very long time. I grew up with having a passion for music as a young child, getting involved in gospel music from a very young age with a number of gospel groups. And I'm also a music educator, and most recently started my own choir out here called the Waterloo Region Mass Choir, which has been running for 4 years. And we're 4 years. And we're excited. We just released our debut EP called Not Powerless. And yeah, that's a little bit about me. So,
So how did you write the song?
I did write the song Not Powerless. It was actually a song that was written 10 years ago, and it's just being released now. Which is
10 years ago, you wrote this song.
10 years ago, and it's just
God
being
must be
released
looking
now.
at you.
Yes, and I think it's a great it's great to have finally had the opportunity to release it, and I'm hoping that through my story that others will be encouraged, that you may have dreams and aspirations and things that are on your heart to do. And you may not see in the moment how those things are going to unfold. But if you keep pressing and if you keep working towards them, then eventually, those things that you have dreams and aspirations of doing, they can blossom. And so, yeah.
So is this on an album, or is it's just a single by itself?
It is on our debut EP. So it's a short album of 4 songs. It's the title track of the EP. We released it first as a single on April 8th, along with a music video that we shot as well to accompany the song, which is currently available on YouTube. And then the full EP was released this past Friday, April the 29th.
Well, that's you have 4 songs. So what's the 4 songs that are on it?
The 4 songs are called They That Wait, which is another song that I wrote. This one was written 20 years ago.
Okay, the next one's probably 30 or 40 years, right? Or while you're in the mother's womb.
Yeah. They That Wait, Not Powerless, a song written by one of our choir members and our MD, Dean Bridgewater, called Be Exalted. And then we also included an arrangement that I did of Wade in the Water, the African-American spiritual Wade in the Water. Okay. We recorded that as well, but we did an arrangement of it and included that on the project as well.
Wow. Well, They That Wait. So tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. They That Wait is a song that is inspired by the biblical scripture, Isaiah 40 verses 31, that says, But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. And this song was written at a point in time in my life where I was at a crossroads trying to decide whether or not I was going to pursue a career in music. I was in my second year of university, pursuing a double major in music and computer science. And at the time, this was when the technology industry was booming. And so I had a really tough decision to make. Do I focus on computer science and this booming technology industry, or do I focus on pursuing my passion of music? Because I was having a very tough time trying to do both at the same time.
And you play
And
instruments as well, right?
yes, I play piano. I play a few other instruments that I teach. I just have working knowledge of them. I wouldn't by no means say that I'm a pro. They say, a jack of all trades, but a master of none.
Okay.
But I think I've mastered a few instruments. But when I wrote the song, that was what was happening in my life at the time, and through my relationship with God, I am a Christian, and through my relationship with God, through my prayer life, I got to the point where I felt that I needed to make that decision to pursue what I felt was the call for my life, which is to pursue a career in music, and to then learn to trust God, to see how all the pieces of that career is going to unfold, especially when you think about pursuing a career in music or any of the arts or entertainments. Sometimes you get discouraged from doing that because people view the arts as being unstable. And so I certainly dealt with a lot of that in my experience, but really learning to trust God, to have my back, and to ensure that I was going to be okay.
Well, he has your back.
Yeah.
And then, because Fred Hammond came out with something too, right? They that wait upon the Lord.
Mm-hmm. he came out with that song, and I think someone else, I think John Buckie may have came out with a song called "They That Wait" as well. And so, as all these other artists came out with this song with the same title,
and you had it 20 years ago.
20 years ago.
You should have came out with it, but you know what? That's okay. God knows the timing.
Yes, absolutely.
So tell us about what's it? Surrender? What's it?
Not Powerless.
Not Powerless. What's the other song on the album?
Be Exalted.
Oh, Be Exalted. Okay.
Yeah, Be Exalted is a up-tempo contemporary gospel song. It's one of those types of songs that you would maybe hear on a Sunday morning for a church service, but it's definitely contemporary and has it's heavily rock infused, which is something that's a fusion of gospel and rock music in terms of the instrumentation. But it's just one of those songs that reminds us that that God is sovereign, and that He's worthy to be exalted in our lives, no matter what. As we reflect on the many blessings that He gives us, the mere fact that we're able to wake up every morning and that we are able to breathe, we have the ability to use our limbs, to walk, to talk, to use our hands. All of these things that He gives us as blessings on a day-to-day basis are things that reminds us that that we ought to exalt Him, we ought to worship Him, we ought to praise Him with our lives. And so that's the third song on the album, and then the project ends off with "Wade in the Water."
Whoa! Well, I want to be in the water too. So wow, there's so much things, and you're so busy, and you're also involved in a lot of social justice things.
Yes, that is correct. Last time I was with you, I was involved with Rufus John and the Freedom Marching Project, which was back in January. And the Waterloo Region Mass Choir had an opportunity to be a part of that project, along with approximately 40 other artists from across Canada, advocating for social justice, Black Lives Matter. And then as a music educator, I've also been advocating for social justice through my work as a music educator, through a lot of my publications. Most recently, I was involved in writing a curricular resource called #BlackMusicMatters in partnership with Music Counts. And this was a resource that looked at Canadian hip hop music and Canadian artists, and the songs by these artists that touch on social justice issues, and how these songs can be used in the music classroom to inspire, to facilitate discussions about social justice issues in music classrooms, as well as other curricular classrooms such as English or geography.
So when do you have a life? do you have a section put away for you that this is me over here and whoever?
I do. It's not much of a life, but my weekends, my weekends are usually mine. I do sometimes perform with the choir or have rehearsals with the choir on weekends,
Okay.
um, but yeah, I just feel that, and this was something that has inspired me. Several years ago, I had an opportunity to read this. This was actually after Dr. Miles Monroe passed away. I'm not sure if you
Hmm.
know who he is, but he's a big
Yes, I
name
do.
in the Christian community. And as you know, Dr. Miles Monroe was an amazing preacher and writer. And he wrote this book called, it was a series called Understanding Your Potential, um, Maximizing Your Potential, and Releasing Your Potential. It's a 3-book series. And
You got them all, right?
I have all 3 books. And I read those 3 books several years ago.
Hmm.
And every once in a while in my life, I come back to them because they just have so much to offer in terms of helping us understand that as beings who have been created by God, that we have that God has created each and every one of us with potential, with the ability um, to create, to do great things, and if we're able to tap in and recognize and understand what our potential is, and to work on developing it, then we all can achieve great things with our lives. One of the things that he talks about in the book is he says that the grave is a wealthy place because many people die with their unused potential. And
Mm.
that was one of the things that has really stuck out for me. And it's been one of the things that has driven me to do a lot of the work that I do in my life, in terms of ensuring
The
that
grave is a wealthy place.
the grave is a wealthy place. Making sure that I live a life where every single gift, every single tool, every single ability that God has given me, that I'm ensuring that I'm using it and that I'm impacting the lives of others, and that I ensure that when it's time for me to go, that I die empty, that I don't, I rob the grave, as Dr. Miles Monroe says, rob the grave of all of the things, all the potential that you had to offer the world, to ensure that you release that before you go.
Well, I'm pretty sure you're pretty close. Because you're working and you're absorbing and you're doing a lot of stuff, and you could see it. You could see if anybody can't see it, I can see it in you. God is working through you so that you can impart to others so that they can impact what they have to do. It says, God said to pass down the craft.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can't die with your craft. You have to give it over to somebody.
Great,
You have to pass it on.
great,
And for
and
you
that's
to
the
hold it, that's even a sin for you to even hold it on. Oh, I'm not going to tell anybody. I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to tell nobody. But you have to pass on. Even if you don't have children, you don't have it. You have to pass on it somewhere, right?
absolutely that there's no legacy without passing on something. You have to pass on something in order to have a legacy. Absolutely.
Well, we're going to see this legacy over here with this song, and you could either sing with it however you like. But this is not powerless and prayer.
Pray.
Pray.
Yes, pray.
Well, prayer, maybe something with that. But you can go ahead. Come it up.
You have been going through your storm, wondering when the sun will shine. The pressures of life seem so unbearable, and all you can do is hide in your room and shut the door. 'cause you just can't deal with life no more. The issues are way beyond control, and giving up seems like the best resource. What it looks like, you've got power. This doesn't have to be the end. This might seem hopeless, and you've accepted that your hands are tied. But remember, you're not powerless. You're not powerless. You're not powerless. Your life has been plagued with so much pain, and you just can't seem to overcome. You wonder if God will ever come through. It seems like He's left you alone. The burdens of sickness, sin, and shame surround you, and you can't seem to gain victory over your past, your present. But there's hope for the future. Doesn't matter, child. What it looks like, you've got power. This doesn't have to be hopeless. And you've accepted that your hands are tied. But remember, you're not powerless. No, no, no. You're not powerless. All you need to do, pray. There's deliverance when you pray. There's a breakthrough. Pray. There's a miracle. You're not powerless. You've got power when you pray. There's provision. There's provision when you pray. There's salvation when you pray. There's the healing for your soul. Healing for your soul. You're not powerless. You're not powerless. You've got power when you pray. Strongholds loosen when you pray. Chains are broken. Chains are broken when you pray. The constant word is powerless. You've got power when you pray. Chains are shifting when you pray.
Wow. That's Holy Ghost filled spirit. I can feel that one. You can see that Tyler Perry coming for you guys. I see a movie.
Maybe. Speak it.
Woo! So how long did it take you to put that together?
Wow, we've been working on this EP since March of 2020 was when the initial, just before the pandemic started, was when, we decided that we were going to start embarking on this project of working on a recording. And then the pandemic hit. And so, if it weren't for the pandemic, this project would have gotten released in 2020 because, to record 4 songs shouldn't take long, in terms of rehearsing and going into the studio. But we had to overcome a lot of challenges to record this project in the midst of the pandemic. Challenges in terms of being able to come out to gather together to rehearse when we had so many restrictions with social gathering. Challenges to be able to go into the studio at certain times. We had several times where, we were booked to go in the studio, and then, there was a influx of COVID cases, and then things got locked down and we had to reschedule. So it certainly has been an interesting journey and an interesting process putting together the project. But I believe everything happens in its time. And releasing the song at this time is something that I think is great because many people can relate to the message. This song is very dear to my heart. When I wrote it, I was going through a number of personal challenges, relational challenges, financial challenges. And one of the lines in the song says, "Things might seem hopeless and you've accepted that your hands are tied, but remember, you're not powerless." And that's one of my favorite lines in the song, because so often we experience situations in life where, we're ready to throw in the towel, we're ready to give up on life because the circumstances are just not going in our favor. But then we're reminded through this song and that we have access to a tool called prayer that God has given us, which enables us to connect with him and enables us to draw strength from him and enables us to receive his support and his help through whatever circumstance that we're going through. And so that whole vamp section that just talks about all the different things that happens when you pray was very inspired. I would refer to it as a download, a download from heaven, as God was just, just speaking to me and directing me to write these words down to be communicated through this song.
Well, you had to do a lot of fasting and praying for that one, boy.
Yeah. I was literally I wrote the song in 2 segments. I remember distinctly starting to write this song in May of 2012. I started writing the chorus of the song. And then in August of that year, my brother and I took a trip to the Dominican Republic for vacation. My brother's also a teacher, so we worked the full school year, and then we both taught summer school in July. And by the time that July was over, we were like, okay, we're beat. We need to hop on a plane and go somewhere. And so we hopped on a plane and we went to Dominican Republic. It was a last minute vacation that we planned and went on together. And I remember vividly or distinctly during one of the evenings while we were on vacation, I was just sitting in our hotel room at the resort, and we had a desk there. And while I was sitting there, just, relaxing, just taking it easy, the whole vamp section of the song came to me, and I just started writing. I had to just pull out my computer and just start typing what was being downloaded to me. So you can say this song is technically it's 50% Canadian and 50% Dominican Republic, because where I work,
and it's 100% Darren Hamilton. That's what it is. God spoke to Darren Hamilton at that time, and he picked that time when you went to the Dominican.
Yes.
So what more can we expect from Darren and the Waterloo Region Mass?
Yeah, the Waterloo Region Mass Choir, we are just excited to be able to get back to in-person rehearsals and in-person engagements. We're going to be having our very first live performance in over 2 years. at the inaugural Mel Brown Festival, which is being held here in Kitchener at the museum on May the 29th of 2022. And for more information on that, you can visit the Mel Brown Festival and Symposium website. And we are also scheduled to reprise our appearance with the Kitchener-Waterloo Symphony at the Yuletide Spectacular event, which is held every year in December. We did our first collaboration with the Kitchener-Waterloo Symphony in 2019, just before the pandemic. And we were slated to return in 2020 and in 2021. And our performances kept getting postponed due to the pandemic. And so we're excited that we're going to be able to do that in person and be live again with the symphony in December of this year.
Okay. So are they any shout outs that you want to give?
Definitely shout outs to the members of the choir who have been so supportive and committed to the venture of recording this project in the midst of a very difficult time for a lot of people. So definitely shout outs to them. Shout outs to Dean Bridgewater, who also wrote on the EP. Shout out to our co-producer, Jermaine Stern. I also co-produced the project. And shout out to all the musicians, the wonderful musicians who played on this recording, and all of the personnel that were involved, the technical personnel, photography, graphic designing. This is our very first project, and just my first time being an executive producer on a project, and I learned very quickly that it's a lot of work to release and push a recording project. And so I'm grateful for all of the individuals that have been involved in helping to make this possible.
Right. And where can people reach you or want to reach out to you on social media?
Yeah, they can find the Waterloo Region Mass Choir. Our website is www.wrmasschoir, that's WRMASSCHOIR.ca. We have a brand newly developed website where people can find out more about the choir. They can purchase our music online. They can also purchase Not Powerless merchandise that we have put together online. They can also reach us on Instagram at WR Mass Choir. That's our Instagram handle. On Facebook at Waterloo Region Mass Choir. And we can also be reached on Twitter at WR Mass Choir.